Hello, my friends. I'm Angie Harris, Certified Mindfulness Instructor, and I have a really fun craft to do with your kids. I had so much fun creating these big boards that you see behind me here. It looks like it's a little cluttered, but to be honest, everything on both of these boards has a lot of intention behind it. Some people call them vision boards. I call them goal setting boards. Whatever you'd like to refer to them as, I strongly encourage that you do this fun craft with your children. You create a board. Everyone that's in the room creates a board. You can even create a family board together. So first, what do you need? You need a big piece of construction board. You can even do it on a recycled cardboard box. You can cut it up and kind of have fun with it, make it specific to how your family culture is. If you really like color, you could pick your family's favorite color. And then you need markers, tape, and scissors, and that's it. I have magazines here. My kids love making their goal-setting boards around sports. However, there's always a couple of things that pop into these boards. Like right here, you see a dog. Up there, you see a dog. You could tell that my family is really aching to get a furry pet here. And one of the things that I want to really stress is that you don't suggest to your child what they put on their board. That's why it's important that you have your own. And if you want to do a family board, that's absolutely okay to have discussion, but it's very important that when you're doing these goal setting boards or vision boards, that it's specific to the person that is setting the intention, because emotion has a lot to do with what we decide to do with our time. And this is especially important for children, to make them feel empowered that they have a choice in how they spend some of their time. Obviously, when they're in school, we're kind of imposing that upon them. However, if they have a goal and mom and dad kind of come in and tell them what they think their goal should be, that takes the child's power away, right? That automatically puts this different tone on the emotion that's kind of fueling something like this craft that's associated with a goal. So to really have these boards, these goal setting boards, serve to help a child build confidence, it has to be of their creation. So it's very important that mom and dad kind of keep our opinions to ourselves when it comes to their goal setting board. We first want to ask the child, and I'm going to turn this one around so you can see the back here. There's a worksheet on the back. So we first want to ask the child a couple of questions. And one of them is going to be something about their favorites. What's their favorite color? What's their favorite time of day? So we're going to get this kind of positive, happy vibe going by asking the child, what are some of your favorites? What's your favorite food? What's your favorite color? What time of day do you really feel the most carefree? Do you feel the most at ease? And really let them answer. And you don't have anything to say about any suggestions. Do not lead the witness on this one. Just really setting the tone for them to get into this kind of dreamy, happy, I'm thinking about what makes me tick kind of a state. And you can do this with children very, very young. As children can really articulate things and point to pictures that they like, you can do this craft with children as young as 1.5, 2. And it's a really powerful way of kind of getting into their heads a little bit and seeing what makes them tick, not just what we want for them, but what they actually want for themselves. So I have a couple of answers here. One is athletic, one is smart, one is curious. Sports. To win a regional hockey championship is one of my children's goals and aspirations, something that makes him really work hard. And it's a motivator for him, not just for that specific sport, but actually in academics as well. He's now drawing a correlation between the work that he's putting in to reap the reward. And that's something that I really noticed when we were doing this board. He started to make connections with emotions, connections with things like, well, I really like sunset on my surfboard. When I'm on my surfboard at sunset, I get a really relaxed feeling. So he started to go through the magazine and look for things that reminded him of surfing and of water. So you see actually a surfboard right up there, and one of the other boards, we put it on a different board. So when you look at this athletic, smart, and curious, athletic and curious are not spelt correctly. And I want to add this in for moms and dads specifically. Do not censor your child and correct them when they're doing this type of a craft. So if curious is something that my son chose, imagine if I turned that into, well, it's not spelt right. Just let that kind of sit in when you're corrected on something. He came up with a word curious to describe himself. That wasn't my word, that was his word. And imagine if I told him he didn't spell it correctly. It just changes the vibe in the room, doesn't it? It changes the energy around it. So really make sure that when you're sitting down to do a craft like this with your children, that you really let them explore things and keep the parenting, the suggestions, and the corrections to absolutely a minimum of safety. So if you have a very young child who maybe is trying to use scissors in an unsafe way, that's when you would intervene. Not about spelling mistakes or about, well, what do you mean you don't have anything about math on there, right? This isn't the time for that. This really has to be a place where they feel safe to explore what they want to do and really explore what emotions come up when they're looking at different images. So when one of my sons actually took a look at some of these colors, maroon, gold, and pink are the colors that he put for his favorite colors, he started to look for pictures that had those colors, and the pictures really didn't have anything to do with something that's a goal of his, but the colors gave him a sense of joy. So we put some of those colors on there. I then have markers here, and I want the children to leave space for them to actually write messages to themselves, right? So we'd ask them a question like, when you look at these pictures, when you look at all of these things that kind of give you a sense of joy, what kind of statements pop up? What thoughts are you noticing? And my son actually created, work hard and you will become a superstar like these superstars. Not my creation, again, his. He then created SS for superstars. So now I'm noticing that he's writing on his academic books on the inside and on the cover, SS. And that's reminding him that if he works hard, he's going to attain what he perceives as greatness or joys or successes, just like these folks here. I have a whole PDF here that I printed out to show you that I'll attach on this video. And if you have any questions about creating a goal setting board or a vision board with your children, you can always email me at theintegratedmind@gmail.com. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please make these boards with your kids. If they feel like you can, take a picture and send it to me so I can use them as examples in some of my other classes and courses. Kids absolutely love seeing examples from other children. And another reminder to parents, when you're making these boards with your kids, let them create what their goals are. Do not feed them any information about what you want their goals to be, which is why I suggest that you make a board for yourself. Let them see you going through this process just like them. Let them know that goal setting is a lifelong journey. Sometimes we attain exactly that goal, like hopefully I'm going to have one of these exact dogs popping up in my house sometime soon. And sometimes it's really the emotion that comes with the image that we attain, right? So we have this kind of connection to maybe I don't get that exact dog, but that dog in that image brings me a lot of joy. And so I'm going to start to pick up on other joys in my life. The emotional connection between these images and what we're seeing in our reality is really powerful for your kids too. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Angie Harris, and I'll see you soon. Have a great day.